Most welcome, beautiful people. Being on the planet today takes great courage, takes a lot of responsibility, and the will to move forward regardless what is happening. And that is meeting the eternal healer within and bringing your vibration to the highest level possible with what is coming true, universally speaking, with what the divine is bringing true, speaking the tongues of crystalline grid construction, that is the architecture that overrides the atrocities on social media and on your newscasts. So not everybody is willing to move into a light body, a light environment. Then again, as planet Earth is moving into light Earth, its original, authentic light body, we need to reconnect with all these vibration and open up the memory codes, the memory ley lines, the memory cords back to where you have been educated in the light eaters before being downloaded in the mud of the astral planes or the old soul system, the old solar system. So we all being requested to move big time into our higher spiritual levels, the higher spiritual body or universal spiritual body at least, and gain that knowledge. So today I'd like to talk about what it really is to be a medium. Everybody today can step into mediumship or channel their own data, their own information. The only difference there is when channeling from a old soul consciousness means you get a lot of false data. Channeling directly from your spirit, your spark, your source means that you channel light earth logic. What does it mean? What's the difference? It means that light earth logic cannot be questioned at any time, and so you move into the higher vibration of intelligence, and that can be educated how to do that. So being a medium in an eternal healer actually is working with the other side equally at all times and grounding the other side on the planet, so you can lift your vibration permanently and be in communication and dialogues with the higher galactic vibrations or the universal central core, which is actually the aims of or the alpha omega nucleic antenna from where you come. So even though you do not understand it, alignments into light body means everything these days. So knowledge will open the flow at any time on data and get your information on the spot, moving in the higher modes of self-discovery and especially self-development with the celestial bodies. Why the celestial bodies? You cannot move galactic universal or even remove the old astral planes without the celestial bodies first, because it's a safe place to be. It is sixth dimension, and the sixth dimensional vibrations have already grounded. It means when loading your spiritual celestial bodies, the atrocities outside of you can no longer hit you, and certainly not your brains, which they are attempting to do. Because if they attempt to dig you or burn you down into even the lower degrees of the mind, then control is all over, and control was already burdened with the opening of the mind in our brain. It was never meant to be. So eliminating the mind from the brain construction is the highest level of light embodiment, because that allows you to flow with the elements, to communicate with the elements, to become one with the water gates of this planet. And water is nothing but information minus the emotional body, yet the higher sensual body that brings to those higher levels of information that are not to be found in the books nor on the Google machines. And that is exactly what I'm teaching. So I have been to a fast I never did before. So I fasted for 5 days. One day stopped, like eating small things, and I felt my body needed more. I went again into a 5-day fast. One day stop, and another 5-day fast, and one day stop. And so here I am today. And what happens with my body, with the complete elimination, as I work with all the oceans in the body, the rivers, with certain types of consciousness, to eliminate especially that lower degree of the mind control in the organs. And that completely changes the food intake. So now I try to eat today and nothing tastes anymore. I had to throw it away, and so I'm finding a lot of herbs and juices. Some fruits are still good for me, but like I made some spinach with pasta and nuts and many other vegetables. I just threw it away because the vegetables are not eatable. My taste did become so refined that it tasted like mud actually. No more vitamins in it or anything, and that is all over the place. That's all over the planet. So the more you refine your taste pebbles actually on your tongue, you refine the higher senses, you refine the eye, not only through the pineal, the amygdala region, the physical eyes, the ears, and also universal hearing. Then you start to realize your body requires more and more intervals of fasting. And there's, yeah, many ways to fast, but I would certainly recommend a fast for at least 3 days on juices and water, and that is very beneficial, along meditational equipment that eliminates the old water, the old mind control in your entire body. Because remember, the body is 87% water or more, so it's all water. And of course I understand how many people just dig into the emotional content and thrive that way. And so once you connect to the other side and you become one with your celestial bodies and knowledge and how they fuse with your consciousness, you are being assisted to flow all the way universal and bring new technology through. And so all the way communicating with the spiritual scientists and astronomers of the universe. Because if I'm going to talk about the breath of source, the eternal breathing that runs through the body, the energy fields, into the immortal breathing systems. To present day physicians, they think you're a lunatic, and that is still too bad. That, you know, as long as you don't have a DM before your name, they don't believe you because you're not worthy of it. So that is still very, very extreme low consciousness drowning on the planet. And so to allow it to happen and to raise vibration equally to where you want to be, that means you no longer dig into free will, you align to divine will at all times. At all times. Because the divine knows better for you than you know with your free will, right? So education comes down to a foundational registering into universal layers of light we have forgotten, and overriding the old creative ways. So that is really dealing with the addictions such as drugs, alcohol, sadness, aggression is even an addiction. All these dark spaces, as long as they keep on existing in your life, they keep on feeding you and don't allow you to feed into the higher degrees of intelligence. So the information cannot flow unless on a level of ego or soul consciousness, and there's too much of a falseness in it. Although people do not have these intentions, it's there. So remember, as long as you can question a thing, it is soul. When you can't question a thing, it is spirit consciousness, and that is to be trusted at all times. So getting out of the emotional content takes a lot of releases. It's breaking down the old mental barriers and understanding it while studying it. Why am I saying this? Because when you study how the heart circulation flows, or for example, just open the Google machine and study the lungs, how that opens what we have, how the alveoli work, and how the breathing system works, the respiratory system, and that will already get you far enough to understand that the lower equations of breath intake is not going to cut it, because we are moving out of the cellular construction into light ports and light body waves, and that is the origin of the human species actually, and that stimulates life, that opens up energy, versing the draining of energies all around you and the consciousness of panic and fear people are living in. So it's very understandable, as long as you dig into the grid that is termed the matrix, while the crystalline grids are there for you to install in your home and to take with you everywhere that you walk, because they expand many miles, and with every breath you take, you can plant them at certain stations, such as a police station, such as mental institutions, such as schools especially. I would just recommend all parents to at least align to a light body foundational. I have a 5-day online on that, and practice that, and really dig deep into what crystalline grid teaching does, because once it kicks into your body, that only takes about 3 months. It used to take many years to get that down on the planet. We've been working for that like 20 years, and now it's all there on a golden platter for you folks, and not digging into it. Why? Many people, when living in fear, there is a high level laziness. They just think like the divine will just pop up. No, we work in co-creation with the divine, and when we do that and we assist the elements, the soil, the air to repair, then the divine comes in, and then the higher vibrations, all the masters are already on the planet for those willing to see, for those willing to co-create with the all those things that are going on, because there's going to happen a great evacuation. And so it's about wakening up and willing to do your work. So once upon a time I was really explaining this to a good friend of mine. He couldn't understand what light body was, so I started explaining it like, you understand music, you understand hip-hop, you understand rock and roll. That is exactly what the universe wants you to play, because these are high vibrations. And then you put on a laser show, like, you know what a laser show is. That is how I see the universe every day. So the frontal lobe in your brains over here, that is the seat of creation on which you can always keep your focus when in meditation, though you need to plant your feet really strong into the ground and align to your ancestral tracks and align to many elements. So to a foundation in light body comes a lot of instruction and knowledge and teachings, and it's like taking your mastery degrees in a university, the University of the Divine. And so, yes, people are really recommended to step into that and to allow that to come true, especially in all schools and universities. Like, teachers need to know how to educate their kiddos, how to be calm at all time, how to heal certain ailments like in a split shift of a few minutes, because that is easy when it comes to scientific light technology. Scientific light technology is simply light being poured through you when having installed a light body, which is termed the Makiva today, and that is means that it moves with all 12 universes and plants itself into this omni-universe we are living with. And so that is reason why the universe is reorganizing everything, so you actually align to the new solar system, and how every planet in the solar system aligns to your body, and that is communicating with Pluto, with Mercury, with the Sun, the Moon, with everything actually. So what does it really mean? Why do you need that? Everybody has healing skills. Everybody has healing capacities. Everybody has intelligence. So once the mind is being released from the brain, from the body, from the cellular construction, and you're in direct alignment with your spark, your source, and have aligned to spirit consciousness in the heart vibration with the light antenna of the lighthouse, which is Shambhala, and the heart of Shambhala, you feel that vibration in your heart like this all of the time, and in your feet all of the time, and these waves. So if you want to heal yourself and other people, all you need to do is working with the symbolism of the eternal vibrations, and then every healing is different. A person with cancer, a person with heart diseases, a person with pulmonary diseases, a person with diseases like Alzheimer. That is so easy to really heal out. Well, scientists of the earth are fishing in the air, in the mud of the air, and certainly not like eternal immortal air, and that is reason why they are fishing for something that isn't even there, because their matrix holds back that information. You need a crystalline grid construction. One foundation expands in 7, 8, 10, 12 infinite crystalline grids, and that is what we came for to do actually on the planet. So even if you work within a grid and you just touch a person's brain, you immediately get that information into your heart and your brain, and you merge that, and you work with the so for example, if I touch somebody, I immediately go into the pituitary gland and I see what is going on. I get that information, like I start to talk very, very fast. So and I know where it is aligned to which kind of consciousness, what it did to your mentality, and I start releasing not only from the brain but also the entire glandular construction If needed, then I go to the heart, I go to the throat center, I go eventually, if there's ailments in the skeletal structure, then that is what we will release, and that is the information that I will scan at that particular time on the ground floor here on Light Earth. And so I will never do the same healing on one person onto another one, because that we are all unique, and we need to understand that uniqueness, that everybody needs a different frequency and a different vibration to heal out. So when I get codes through languages, maybe some mathematical formula, maybe a design, that is what I will pull through. If I need to completely heal the respiratory tracts, the lungs, the heart circulation, or just the blood circulation that clutters all over the place, then that is what we will do, and we will bring a brain expansion through. So that is learning from one level into the other and to the next, and there's no ending to learning to become an extreme, strong healer. And so you can start out with small things and healing yourself and doing it on people, and so you can never go wrong, because if you align to the universal knowledge at all times, and you don't really know where to direct yourself or what to do, then you can just breathe through the healing energies, and that through that you will see the opening of your glandular construction. At least you will see colors and designs come after that, and then you have the alignments to design as well. So there's no end to learning, but a foundation is needed. Otherwise you would be driving a car without a motor mechanism, right? So that car doesn't particularly start off, it stays stationed, and that is where many people are at. They are just stationed and feeding themselves from that station. So here I would suggest to really align to your light body, at least the spiritual body, all 12 universes, your direct connect to your source, and get your own data done. Or I have these courses here, your direct alignment into an eternal healer, and then comes the celestial bodies. You cannot kick in a universal or celestial body and work with Cassiopeia, Andromeda, I don't know what are there, when you do not have a foundation all of the time. That is like building a house and starting with the third floor. That is exactly that. So imagine how that house of cards will crumble in a short amount of time, right? So understanding to creating that light body and having fun with a light body, because you will have results immediately, and you can heal out people immediately, and from there on you just grow with a crystalline grid, and you move into more grids, and you plant them, and you see the changes. If you go to a coffee shop and you plant that grid there for 15-20 minutes or half an hour, just while talking with people, you just breathe the grid through, and you'd see changes. That is exactly what the divine requires from us. So divine alignment requires obedience to the divine, and that is divine will, and certainly not free will, because free will get you in the mud. Free will means I do whatever I want all of the time, and so you might miss out on many directions and the integrity of the divine. So all of that has been killed, but yes, I encourage you strongly to move out of the mind control and allow yourself to move into full brain power, which is eternal. So we'll move that into the next stage, next video, and keep safe, move on, let your voice be heard, and spread your light no matter what. Spread it, go into society, and certainly do not lock yourself up, right? Okay, bye.